What's up, folks? I don't think that there's been any sort of improvement. We are back, and we are here. We are streaming, but I don't think that there's an improvement. So I don't understand the choppiness. We'll have to try and figure that out after this stream. There should be no sort of choppiness. So I don't know if it's an issue with the rig or an issue with Streamlabs or what the problem is, but it is absolutely maddening. I don't understand what's causing it, and yeah, I don't really know the workaround for it. So I don't think there's anything going on in the background. This is definitely something that needs to be figured out. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Light Widow, it's just choppiness. It's just like insane choppiness. Just like very basic stuff is causing insane choppiness. Yeah, it's not the camera. It's something wrong with... See if that changed anything. Activating and deactivating. No, not really. Yeah, I'm on the scene we made the other day, yeah. So it's like there's something with Streamlabs. It's just like it's an infection. It just infects all the other stuff. But it's definitely something that needs to be resolved because the streams are important, and if we can't do the streams, then we can't do the streams. So there's no real reason. Everyone, thank you for hanging out. Sorry that this is looking like a pile of shit. Skeeter, yeah, I did end up getting a couple secret layers this morning. Yes. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Current keyframes are not being sent often enough, which can cause buffering. I don't know. It's like much worse over here. Jury duty day. Oh no. Is this one working now? Why is this one working? I don't understand. So now this one is working. Makes no sense. So for some reason over here, this camera is working here. And when I come back here, I don't know. I guess it's working now. Who knows? Had to switch between scenes a bunch, and then that caused things to, I don't know, randomly work. But it's really annoying and stupid. I am getting choppiness in my audio, but you know what? Whatever. Yeah, I think we're just going to switch to OBS. Streamlabs, there's something wrong with Streamlabs. Streamlabs is an issue. I think we're just going to switch to OBS. And we're going to see if that gets rid of these stupid issues. Whatever happened with our Streamlabs is causing too much shit. It's almost like the camera needs time to work. I can't tell if that's trolling. I don't think the camera like needs time to work. The camera should just boot up and work. It's so strange. It's almost like the camera needs time to work. I don't know if you meant it. I don't know if you meant it in a trolly way, but it sounded very trolly. Hello, Mom. Mom is out there, says, hi, my fans. All right. Well, I don't know why it works on yours. It doesn't work on mine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. I do not know. We've got a deck tech that we're going to do today. You know what we could start with, though, is we could start by looking at some of these Final Fantasy spoilers. They spoiled all of the decks. I'm pretty sure all the decks got spoiled today. What is going on with the chat box? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm just getting some pretty significant choppiness in my audio. But as long as you're not hearing it, that's good. Where to find Final Fantasy previews? This came out very recently here. Let me see if I can find the actual let's see if I can find the actual deck lists here. I think I saw this on Discord, actually. Wait, it's all in that article? The article came out on like the 9th. Oh, here we go. Never mind, we did find them. We did find them, actually, chat. All right, here we go. We've got the Final Fantasy deck lists here. I'm gonna have to go in and clean up these scenes and try to figure out what exactly is going on. But these did come out today. So the deck lists are out. Each Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy Commander deck contains the following: 1 ready to play 100 card commander deck, 1 traditional foil face commander, 1 traditional foil featured commander, 98 non-foil cards. Got 10 double-sided tokens, a collector booster sample pack, 1 reference card, 1 deck box. Then you got the Final Fantasy Collector's Edition. Ooh, baby. These are going to be a pretty penny. These are going to be a pretty penny here. For the most dedicated fans of Final Fantasy, look no further than Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy Collector's Edition Commander decks. While these contain the same cards as the other Commander decks, Collector's Edition Commander decks feature the Surge Foil treatment across all 100 cards. It's pretty spicy. And are breathtaking must-haves for any Final Fantasy collector. Each Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy Collector's Edition Commander deck contains the following: 1 ready-to-play Commander deck, 1 Surge Foil face, 1 Surge Foil featured Commander card, 98 Surge Foil cards, 10 double-sided tokens, Revival, Trance, Limit Break, and Scions and Spellcraft Collector's Edition decks each contain 10 double-sided Surge Foil tokens. Okay, Counter Blitz Collector's Edition contains 4 Punch-Out counter cards and 6 double-sided Surge Foil tokens. Each have 1 collector booster sample pack, 1 reference card, 1 deck box. So you got Mardu. There's nothing of value in them. You don't think so? I think we kind of fixed the issue. As long as you aren't hearing any sort of like weirdness, we should be good. I'm getting some choppiness in my audio, but as long as you're not getting it, then we're good. So we have Terra, Herald of Hope, a red, a white, and a black. It's a 3/3 human wizard warrior. The beginning of combat on your turn, mill 2 cards. Terra gains flying until end of turn. Whenever Terra deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2. When you do, return target creature card with power 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. Looks pretty good. And then the Lieutenant Commander, Celis Rune Knight. 1, a red, a white, and a black. When it enters, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards plus 1. Pretty good. Whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. That's pretty sick. All right, so here's the deck, and we can actually take a look at it, which is pretty sick. Stream Killage, good to see you. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out today. We are going to build the deck, but we got this commander, we got the commander decks revealed. So for now, we're going to go ahead and just kind of review these decks and see how this goes. Take a look at some of the cards that are in these. Buzzfuzz, nice to see you. Hello. So we got Terra, we got Celis, Cayenne, Vengeful Samurai, 6 and a white for 3/3. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. It also has double strike, and whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on him. Okay. General Leo Kristoff, 4 and a white. When it enters, return up to 1 target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then put a 1/1 counter on it for each creature you control. Jeez. Interceptor, Shadows, Hound, 2 and 2 black for Menace. Assassins you control have Menace. Whenever you attack with 1 or more legendary creatures, you may pay 2 and a black. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. Jeez, that's pretty strong. Seems pretty good. Shadow, Mysterious Assassin. 2 and a black for a 3/3 Death Touch. Whenever Shadow deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice another non-land permanent. If you do, draw 2 cards, and each opponent loses life equal to the mana value of the sacrificed permanent. So whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may sack another non-land permanent. If you do, draw 2 cards, and each opponent loses life equal to the mana value. Wow. Not gonna lie, I kind of like it in Imskir. Imskir being a big 8-cost demon. Buzzfuzz, what is the card? Espers to Magicite? Well, we'll get to that one. This guy seems really good. Siegfried, Famed Swordsman, 3 and a black for Menace. Whenever it enters, mill 3 cards, then put X 1/1 counters on Siegfried, where X is twice the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So lots of counters going on here. Gao, Feral Youth, 1 and a red. Whenever Gao attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. At the beginning of each end step, if a card left your graveyard this turn, Gao deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Go-Go, Mysterious Mime, 3 and a red. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have Go-Go become a copy of another target creature you control until end of turn, except its name is Go-Go, Mysterious Mime. Jeez, this card is nutty. If you do Go-Go and that creature, each get +2/+0 and gain haste until end of and attack this turn if able. Sabin, Master Monk, 4 and a red, double strike. It has Blitz. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its Blitz ability. Jeez. If you cast this for its Blitz cost, it gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, and you can just Blitz it from the graveyard. That's pretty wild. It's pretty good. Strago and Realm. Human Wizard, Sketch and Lore, 2 and a red. Target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library Until they exile an instant, sorcery, or creature card, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this creature activate only as a sorcery. Summon Esper Villagarmanda. We got an enchantment creature, Saga Drake. Exile an instant or sorcery card from each graveyard. Add red for each lore counter on this saga. You may cast an instant or sorcery card exiled with this saga and mana of any... Oh, wow. It's a flying haste. Geez, this is kind of hard to wrap my head around, this one here. As this saga enters and after your draw step, add a lore counter. Sacrifice after 4. Exile an instant or sorcery card from each graveyard. Then add red mana for each lore counter on this saga. You may cast an instant or sorcery card exiled with this saga, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. Okay, interesting. Umaro, Raging Yeti, 5 and a red, trample at the beginning of combat on your turn. Choose one at random. Other creatures you control get +3/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. Okay. Discard your hand and draw 4 cards. Deals 5 damage to any target. Seems pretty good. Extreme Killage says, I wonder how many saga creatures are going to end up in the main set. Definitely not as many as I was expecting to show up here. They do seem good, though. Yeah. Bannon the Returner's Leader. A red and a white. For a 1/3 legendary creature, Human Cleric Rebel. It has Prey. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from among cards in your graveyard that were put there from anywhere other than the battlefield this turn. Whenever you attack, you may pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. You may cast a creature spell from among cards in your graveyard that were put there from anywhere other than the battlefield this turn. Interesting. So, like, as we cycle stuff or discard cards. It's kind of interesting. Edgar, Master Machinist, 2 a red and a white. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an artifact spell from your graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters tapped. Whenever it attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Wow, so like fill up the yard with big artifacts. I mean, this guy's pretty wild, man. It's a pretty fun little card. I know red white leaves something to be desired, but I mean that's pretty cool. I'm a fan of that. Kefka, Dancing Mad. Excuse me. I had a snez. I had to do a snez. 5 a red and a black. During your turn, Kefka has Indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, exile a card at random from each opponent's graveyard. Jeez. You may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. Then each player who owns a spell you cast this way loses life equal to its mana. Are you kidding me? Dude. This thing's amazing. This guy is so much fun. This is like a way better Karavik. Dude, oh man, I want to build that. I want to build this. It's so chaotic. Cast stuff from the graveyard. This thing is sick. We have Lock, Treasure Hunter. 1 a black and a red. can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Whenever lock attacks, each player mills a card. If a land card was milled this way, create a treasure token. Until end of turn, you may cast a spell from among those cards. That's pretty good. Yeah, for 7 mana, exactly. Just him and a bunch of board wipes. Yeah. Mog, Moogle Warrior. 1 red and a white. Lifelink. It has Dance at the beginning of your end step. Each player may discard a card. Each player who discarded a card this way draws a card. If a creature card was discarded this way, you create a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. Then if a non-creature card was discarded this way, put a 1/1 counter on each Moogle you control. All right. Kind of cool. Setzler, Wandering Gambler. 1 a black and a red. Human Rogue Pilot. When Setzler enters, create the Blackjack, a legendary 3/3 colorless vehicle artifact token with flying and crew 2. Whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, flip a coin. Whenever you win a coin flip, create 2 tapped treasure tokens. So that's kind of cool. The Warring Triad, Flying, Trample, Haste. 5/5 for 3. As long as there are fewer than 8 cards in your graveyard, the Warring Triad isn't a creature. Mill a card, target player adds 1 mana of any color. Okay. Sun Titan. Ooh. New Sun Titan. Oh, nice. Did you get the stamps? Did you get the stamps out of it, Mom? Just making sure you didn't miss the stamps. We also have an Archfiend of Depravity. The beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures they control, then sacrifices the rest. God, it's so cool to see all these cards get new art. Got Sepulchral Primordial in here. New art for Sepulchral. That's pretty cool. Combustible Gear Hulk. Pretty cool. I love to see new art on all of these cards. We don't have to read all these because these are reprints. Layer of the Hatebound. Ruin Grinder. Wait, what is Ruin Grinder from? What set? 5 and a red, 7/4 menace. When this creature dies, each opponent may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. It has mountain cycling. Priest of the Fell Rites, Human Warlock. Sacrifice this creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. It also has Unearth. Got Solemn in here. New art, Solemn Simulacrum. Blight, if you could just... I put the thumbnail in Discord. If you could just post the thumbnail to Instagram, that would be helpful. Angel of the Ruins. When this creature enters, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments. Okay. Plain cycling. Got Palace Jailer. New art, Palace Jailer. When this creature enters, you become the monarch. Yep. Morbid Opportunist. So is this all Final Fantasy VI? Oh, I guess that makes sense. Everything in here would be Final Fantasy VI, right? Because it's a Final Fantasy VI commander. Okay, cool. Palace Jailer, Morbid Opportunist. Yeah, I mean, this is dope. This is really cool. Pitiless Plunderer. New art, Pitiless. And that's pretty sick. Stitcher's Supplier. Oh, man. Paige, I know you want this deck, but this one is like so my type of cards. Oh my god. All right, Coin of Fate. This is new. 1 and a white. When this artifact enters, surveil 1. And then for 3 and a white, tap. Exile 2 creature cards from your graveyard. Sacrifice this artifact. An opponent chooses one of the exiled cards. You put that card onto the bottom of your library and return the other to the battlefield tapped. You become the monarch. Is that a new card? The Falcon, airship restored, 2 and a black, flying. Whenever the Falcon deals combat damage to a player, you may sack it. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Will says, judge her when she plays it wrong so you can have... The issue with Paige is she doesn't play wrong. She's typically a very good player. Key to the City. Okay, hold on. I didn't even finish reading this. 2 and a black, flying. Whenever the Falcon deals combat damage to a player, you may sack it. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped for 4 and a black. And it has crew 2. That seems pretty good. That seems pretty good. We also have Key to the City. This is one of my favorite cards. Discard a card. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. Whenever this artifact becomes untapped, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. Pretty cool. Oh, good. They did make a Phoenix down. Okay. I was going to be really sad if they didn't turn this into a card. 1 white artifact. 1 and a white. Exile this artifact. Choose 1. Return target creature card with mana value 4 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Or exile target skeleton, spirit, or zombie. That's pretty sick. Got Arcane Signet in here. New art. Commander Sphere. Aw. Aw. It's a chocobo egg. It's an egg. Mind Stone. Sacrifice this artifact. Draw a card. Soul Ring. These are sick. Swiftfoot Boots. Oh, equip creature as hexproof and haste. I'm pretty sure those are Swiftfoot sandals. If I had to guess, I'm pretty sure we're looking at some Swiftfoot sandals. Possibly. Chat, could somebody give me a case for these being boots? I think I'm looking at sandals here. Or slip-ons. Swiftfoot slip-on sandals. Swiftfoot thongs. Possibly a Swiftfoot thong shoe. Who knows? Hold on 1 second. Got to turn the AC off. All right, we also have Talisman. Talisman of Conviction here. Talisman of Indulgence. Got Bauble. Cool. Oh, here we go. This is the card BuzzFuzz was talking about. Espers to Magicite. 3 and a black, instant. Exile each opponent's graveyard. When you do, choose up to 1 target creature card exiled this way. Create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's an artifact and it loses all other card types. Wow. Wow. That is pretty wild. That is pretty good. Instant speed. Exile each opponent's graveyard. When you do, choose up to one target creature card exile this way. Create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's an artifact and it loses all other card types. That is pretty good. Bedevil. New art, Bedevil. Laughing Mad. 2 and a red. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. It has draw 2 cards and flashback at instant speed. I love flashback on a card like this. Love it. It's like a thrill of possibility, except it costs 1 more and it's all jacked up. Got the big score in here, and its additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. So new art, big score. New art, Crackling Doom. New art, Mortify. Pretty sick. Wow, the art on this Mortify slaps. Pretty wild. All right, and then we have Rejoin the Fight. 5 and a black, sorcery, mill 3 cards. Then starting with the next opponent. In turn order, each opponent chooses a creature card in your graveyard that hasn't been chosen. Return each card chosen this way to the battlefield under your control. That's pretty sick. So MTG is play to win now. I mean, hasn't MTG always been play to win? Or pay to win? I feel like it has always been. You buy the cards, or you don't buy them. You can always proxy them, depending on your pod. Because there's always the inkjet.deck. You just use your inkjet printer. But if you are ordering sleeves, use our code MM5 when you order from Dragon Shield. Snort, 3 and a red. Sorcery, each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards. Then Snort deals 5 damage to each opponent who discarded their hand this way. Okay, so you may discard. That's kind of good. Tragic Arrogance is in here. For each player, you may, we know this card. Reanimate, New Art, Reanimate. New Art, Rise of the Dark Realms. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Arcanau says, don't be a brokey, just buy the cards. Right, that's the way to do this. Of course. Retro with the, oh god. We have the freaking alert box. All right. Retro says, currently witnessing a new level of power creep. I mean, there are a lot of really good cards in here. Retro, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. You are the chat champion. Oh, I just need to update chat champion. Just give me a minute here. Let me get through this deck and I'm going to update chat champ. Yo, Final Fantasy seems underwhelming. Powerful cards, overcosted mana. Do you think so? Seen some pretty strong looking commanders in here. We also have Legions to Ashes. 1 a white and a black. Exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls and all tokens that player controls with the same name as that permanent. This is a new card. This has to be a new card. I've never seen this. I mean, you know, I don't know much about recent Final Fantasy games, but I will say the ones that I've played 7, 8, 9, and 10 were some of my favorite games. Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite games of all time. I just downloaded it last night and started replaying it. I thought about just getting it on Steam and just playing the card game all day. Just like running around Alexandria and just playing the card game while we talk about Magic. We also have Ruinous Ultimatum. This is a new card, or a reprint, I mean. Knight's Whisper. Stitched together. 2 black. Turn target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. This is a reprint. Let's take a look at some of the lands. 37 lands in here. Yeah, maybe maybe it's just because I'm a Final Fantasy fan. I'm not really like seeing it as underwhelming. It's really cool to see, you know, one of my favorite kind of, you know, series of games, at least the older ones that I have played, because I haven't played like 11 forward. So it's like everything after Final Fantasy X I'm kind of ignorant to. Did I rewatch Dune yet? No, but I've seen Dune a lot, so I don't think I need to rewatch it. I've seen Dune many times. The music from Dune Big Battle is one of my favorite musical compositions. Arkanau says Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, and 9 are the only good ones. You don't like 7 and 8? Yeah, Arkanau, I have to say, like, it did kind of all become kind of samey, right? Like, it all kind of felt samey. Like, one of the reasons I love Final Fantasy 9 is because it's such a departure from 7 and 8, which felt kind of like similar. They're kind of like these, like, well, Final Fantasy 7 has kind of like different zanier characters, where Final Fantasy 8 is very like, I don't know, like almost like what they return to in Final Fantasy 11 forward. Yeah, because they did become MMOs, right? Bob says funny, Final Fantasy 7 and 8 were my favorite. Right, dude, those games are awesome. Never played one. Poster. Arkanau says 9 is perfect. Yeah, 9 is my favorite. 9 is amazing. Yeah. All right, let's look through some of these lands. Battlefield, we got Clifftop Retreat. Love the art on this stuff. So I never played Final Fantasy 6. Now that looks like Final Fantasy 7. Oh, that is Final Fantasy 7. Now that's 6. Dragon Skull Summit, that's 6. Exotic Orchard, that's Final Fantasy 5. Or no, Final Fantasy 10. Okay, so the lands are from all different games. I see. Graven Cairns, High Market. Oh, that's cool. They put a High Market in here. That's sweet. Isolated Chapel, Rugged Prairie, Shadow Blood Ridge, Shine Shadow Snarl, Smoldering Marsh, Sulphurous Springs, Sunscorched Divide, Ash Barrens, Demolition Field is in here. Love to see that. Now that's Final Fantasy 14 right there. Evolving Wilds. Nomad Outpost is in here. That's cool. Path of Ancestry. Love the art on this stuff. Sacred Peaks, Sunlit Marsh, Command Tower, and then we have 4 plains, 3 swamp, and 3 mountain. I like that they just went ahead and gave us full art. That makes sense. That's pretty cool. If I ever rebuild my Grixis Wizards deck, there are some major auto-includes from this set. Yeah, there's some pretty good stuff. Will says, so glad I have the full set of commander decks coming. These are a must. Light Widow says, need these lands for Nerev. Oh, so you're gonna rip the deck apart and turn it into a dragons thing. All right, then we have Cloud, Limit Break, Final Fantasy VII. Now this is honestly one that looks kind of fun to me. Cloud being Naya. Do we agree with Cloud being Naya? Does that make sense? Cloud reads, when it enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to it. Whenever Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then if Cloud has power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. Okay. And the lieutenant commander in it is Tifa, martial artist. 1, a red, a green, and a white. Has melee. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power 7 or greater deal combat damage to a player, and tap all creatures you control. If it's the first combat phase of your turn, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. That's pretty good. Is there a bad guy deck, and is it Esper? I don't know, Dalfort, but it should be. It should be. All right, so in Limit Break, we have Cloud, Tifa, we have Sid. Yeah, I remember Sid. Sid was always, like, smoking a cigarette. Where's Sid's cigarette? Sid, free flyer pilot, 1 and a white. Equipment and vehicle spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Oh. This is a SRAM Senior Edificer card. Jump. During your turn, Sid has flying. 2 and a tap. Return target equipment or vehicle card from your graveyard to your hand. Bro. Bro, this card is good. This card is good. This card is good, dude. It's so strong. Oh my God. Love the art on it too. Elena, Turk recruit, 2 and a white. When it enters, return target non-assassin historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever you cast a historic spell, put a 1/1 counter on this. So 1/4 for 3 that gets bigger when you cast historic stuff. You said you used to love 7, then it got fan horde to death, and this remake is just pissing on its corpse. Geez, how do you really feel about it, Arcanel? What, you think like this remake, or you mean like when they remade the game? Will says, I will always make sure to let others dictate how much I like something. There we go, Will. That is the way. Heidegger. Legendary creature, human soldier, 3 and a white. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of soldiers you control. At the beginning of your end step, create a number of 1/1 white soldier creature tokens equal to the number of opponents you control more creatures than you. Oh, that's cool. Hella Trooper, yes. God. 1/2 flyer for 2. When this creature attacks, another target attacking creature gains flying until end of turn. Equipped abilities you activate that target this creature costs 2 less to activate. That's pretty sick. Avalanche of Sector 7. Oh, man. 2 and a red. Menace. Avalanche of Sector 7's power is equal to the number of artifacts your opponents control. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact they control, Avalanche of Sector 7 deals 1 damage to that player. Kate Sith, Fortune Teller. 3 and a red. It has lucky slots. Oh yeah. At the beginning of combat on your turn, scry 1, then exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a card this way, target creature you control gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is that card's mana value. Arcanel, that's so well said. They have no real power, no real meaning or power beyond my own thoughts. Yes, that is how opinions work. God, that's so well said. These are just my opinions. They have no real meaning or power beyond my own thoughts. Yes. Oh man, beautifully said. Summon Kajata, 5 and a red. It has lightning. This creature deals 3 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. Ice, up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn. Fire, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. When you discard a card this way, this creature deals damage equal to that card's mana value to each opponent. I just remembered I forgot my meds. Give me just a second. Okay. I wonder if the avalanche was made before they knew Dockside would be banned. Things like that and Brood Root Apothecary makes me think they were designing more counterplay for it. What's the link for the lists? I shall post it for you. Oops. Paste. There you go. Should work for you. You are very welcome. Never try to force others to think the way I do or impose my thoughts or opinions. Different thoughts make the world go round, and that's, yeah, agree. Agree. Vincent, Vengeful Atoner. 2 and a red. 3/3. Oh god, I remember Vincent. So brooding. Menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on Vincent. And whenever Vincent deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent if Vincent's power is 7 or greater. Oh man. This is kind of fun. It's kind of a fun little commander to build around. Little menace guy. Pump him up. Paige, I could see you liking this card. Just run a bunch of those, like, brute force. Get through. A bunch of pump spells. And then just get through to whoever's open. This thing is strong, man. Equipment, pump spells. I like it. Yeah, what the hell? Yuffie, Materia Hunter, 2 and a red. Has ninjutsu. Whenever Yuffie enters, gain control of target non-creature artifact for as long as you control Yuffie. Then you may attach an equipment you control to it. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Bugenhagen, Wise Elder. 1 and a green. Reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, draw a card. And it's a mana dork. Wow. Look at this mana dork, chat. A reach 1/3 for 2 with add 1 mana of any color, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, draw a card. This is a pretty strong little mana dork here. Not gonna lie. I am a fan of what's going on with it. Professor Hojo, 1 and a green for 2/2. The first activated ability you activate during your turn that targets a creature you control costs 2 less to activate. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control become the target of an activated ability, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. We also have Aerith, Last Ancient, 2, a green and a white, lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If you gain 7 or more life this turn, return that card to the battlefield instead. Got Barret in here, 2, a red and a green. God, I remember Barret in Final Fantasy VII. That character model just looked so ridiculous. Reach, Avalanche. Whenever an equipment you control enters, create a 2/2 red rebel creature token. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to target rebel you control. Okay. All right, red 8. Or, excuse me, red 13. Proud Warrior. 1, a red and a green. Legendary creature Beast Warrior. God, I love the art on this. Vigilance, trample, 3/3. Other modified creatures you control have vigilance and trample. And Cosmo Memory, when Red 13 enters, return target aura or equipment card from your graveyard to your hand. It's not bad. It's not bad. Vigi Trample, 3/3. Other modified creatures you control have Vigi and Trample. There's a lot going on there. Here's Sephiroth. 3, a red and a white. Human, avatar, soldier. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may put a cell counter on target creature. Until end of turn, each modified creature you control has base power and toughness 7/5. And then it has the reunion. 3, sacrifice a modified creature. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Well, it has red. You think it should have been mono red? We also have Bastion Protector. Commander creatures you control +2/+2 and have indestructible. Bronze Guardian is in here. Okay, so there's some good stuff going on. Double Strike, Ward 2. Other artifact creatures you control have Ward 2. This creature's power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Okay, so that's a Mendicant Core card and looks like it. Forgot that I need Mendicant Core. Oh, thank you for this subscription. I appreciate you. We have to figure out what is wrong with the text because I could not even read your name. But thank you for subscribing. God, we need to go in here and do some tinkering with our scenes because this is looking kind of poopy. Oh, Kim Shunpei. Thank you for subscribing. I see your name down there. Pure Steel Paladin is in here, so new Pure Steel Paladin. That's sick. New Hellkite Tyrant. Ooh, the art on this is cool. Love it. Ooh, new Professional Facebreaker. That's pretty sweet. We know Professional Facebreaker. Menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. And sack a treasure, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. That's cool. And we have Armory Automaton. Love the art on that. That is pretty sweet. Zach Fair. Okay, so this is a new card. 1 white for 0/1. It enters with a 1/1 counter on it. You could pay 1 and sacrifice it. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Put Zach Fair's counters on that creature and attach an equipment that was attached to Zach Fair to that creature. Chat. That's a lot going on for 1 white. That's a lot going on. At least they make it to where you have to pay 1 in order to use that ability. And then we do have a mono red Barrett. Barrett Wallace here. 3 and a red. Reach for 4/4. When Barrett Wallace attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipped creatures you control the defending player. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's take a look at the instance. We have Cloud's Limit Break in here. 1 and a white. And it's tiered. Oh, that's cool. So /0, destroy target tapped creature. Choose 1 additional cost. Okay. Blade Beam, 1, destroy any number of target tapped creatures with different controllers. Or Omni Slash, a white and 3, destroy all tapped creatures. Okay. So choose 1 additional cost. So for 1 and a white, we could destroy a tapped creature. For 2 and a white, we could destroy any number of target tapped creatures with different controllers. And then for 4 and 2 white, we destroy all tapped creatures. That's interesting. We have Ultimate Magic, Holy. 2 and a white. Instant. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Oh, God. Another spell like this. How many of these do they need to give us? Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn. If this spell was cast from exile, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. Dude. And it has Foretell. So if you foretell it, you get that second clause. But otherwise, another thing that gives the team Indestructible. There are so many of these effects in white. Whoever said like there's nothing that really sticks out to you, this card should probably stick out to you. This one's pretty good. We do have Lifestream's Blessing, 4 and 2 green. Instant speed, draw X cards, where X is the greatest power among creatures you controlled as you cast a spell. If the spell was cast from exile, you gain twice X life. So this also has Foretell. During your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Cast it on a later turn for its Foretell cost. Seems pretty good too. Seems pretty good. Clever Concealment, 2 and 2 white. Convoke any number of target non-land permanents you control phase out. That's a reprint, right? I'm pretty sure Clever Concealment is a reprint. We have a new Chaos Warp here. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library. We know that card. Dispatch. We have tap target creature. If you control 3 or more artifacts, exile that creature instead. Got it. Enchantments. Soldier. Military program. 2 and white. Enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. If you control a commander, you may choose both instead. Create a 1/1 white soldier or put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 soldiers you control. This is a very good enchantment for Soldiers Matters. Pretty sweet. I honestly really like it for SRAM as well. When SRAM gets removed and you don't have anything to put all your equipment on, having an enchantment like this that just lets you generate a token to suit up is pretty good. I mean, there's some pretty good stuff in here, Bob. Yeah. Furious Rise here. 2 and a red. Enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until you exile another card with this enchantment. Okay. This is also a fun card. Nice little velocity on this red enchantment here. Brody, what's up? My whole work is enjoying the stream in the background of salsa making. Oh, baby. We've been at like 50 viewers this entire stream. So thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the stream. It helps push it in the algorithm. If you are enjoying the stream, definitely hit like. All right, let's go through our sorceries, and then I have to see what kind of artifacts they put in here. I'm very excited to see those. I saw a skull clamp up there. Sorceries. Ultimate Magic Meteor. 5 and a red. Deals 7 damage to each creature. If the spell was cast from exile, for each opponent, choose an artifact or land that player controls to destroy the chosen permanents. And it also has Foretell. This is good. Austere Command we got a reprint of. Nice suite of abilities on that. Unfinished Business. Okay, this is new. 3 and 2 white. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then return up to 2 target aura and or equipment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to this creature. Bro. This is good. Oh, you killed my Sun Titan? I'll get my Sun Titan back and these equipment. Seems pretty good. I know Sun Titan isn't in here, but in the event that you did put it in here. Unfinished Business. This is a card, man. This card is good. I will say this. For this card being a white card, everybody looks very menacing on it. There's some menacing folks sitting on this in this art here. They look kind of menacing. But you know what? We'll let it slide. We have Vanquish the Horde, new art Vanquish in here. This looks pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. We've got new art Decimate. Oh, man. It's really cool. We're not even looking at all the freaking flavor text. If you're going to pick a fight with the Turks, you better be prepared to leave in a body bag. All right, so that at this point makes this really not feel like a white card. This feels like a white-black card at this point. It was a very menacing mono white card here. Let's just say that. Vanquish the Horde, sir. A mass of high density energy is heading towards Midgar. We got Decimate here. Progress requires sacrifice. Learn to live with it. Secret Rendezvous. I don't know if anybody knows this card, Secret Rendezvous. but it's pretty good. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. This is a very political card. We like this. Vandal Blast. New art Vandal Blast. We take that. We take it. Danger's part of the job. Don't worry about me. Got Cultivate in here. They say you can't grow grass and flowers in Midgar, but for some reason the flowers have no trouble blooming here. I love the flavor text on this stuff. We need to be reading more flavor text. Harmonize, draw 3 cards. Only the ancients, only Aerith can save us from Meteor. Nature's Lore in here. Search your library for a forest card. That's cool. The spirits that return to the planet merge with one another and roam the planet. They roam, converge, and divide, becoming a swell called the life stream. Dude, the lore on these is dope. Rampant growth is in here. It is up to the planet to decide what is best for the planet. What is bad for the planet? All that is bad will disappear. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, let's take a look at some of our artifacts that appear in this deck because I'm excited. We have Summoning Materia. 2 and a green. Artifact equipment. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. We like that effect. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. That is good. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance and tap add green. So for 3 and an equip of 2, you get a pretty strong equipment here, man. I am a fan of it. I am a fan of what's going on here. This one is pretty strong. All right, let's keep going. We have Conformer Shuriken 2 for this equipment. Legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has, whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. If that creature has greater power than this creature, put a number of 1/1 counters on the creature equal to the difference. And it has an equip of 2. Chat. This card is freaking nutty. We're going to read that again for anybody who missed it. Equipped creature has, whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. If that creature has greater power than this creature, put a number of 1/1 counters on this creature equal to the difference. So we're going to tap it down. And then we're going to get whatever their big thing is. Oh, dude, this is nutty, man. Wrecking Ball Arm. 2. Equipped creature has base power and toughness 7/7 and can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Equipped legendary creature. 3. And it has an equip of 7. Equipped creature has base power and toughness 7/7 and can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So we put this on a legend. Oh, this is such a SRAM card. Dude, this deck is nutty. We got a Champion's Helm in here. New art Champion's Helm. New art Conqueror's Flail. New art Darksteel Plate. Inspiring Statuaries in here. Non-artifact spells you cast have Improvise. Got a new art Sword of the Animist in here. The Shuriken seems pretty good for a VV deck. Yeah, man. Behemoth Sledge. Here's our Arcane Signet. Ooh, baby. It's a pretty cool Arcane Signet, I have to say. New art Colossus Hammer. Oh my god. Quick creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying. I love this new art on this. That's sick. Explorer's Scope. That's pretty cool too. Got a Hero's Blade in here. Equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever a legendary creature you control enters, you may attach this equipment to it. Got Hero's Heirloom. With some red 13 art there. Equipped creature gets +2/+1 as long as equipped creature is legendary, has trample and haste. New art Lightning Greaves. Those are pretty fun. New art Mask of Memory. New art Skull Clamp. My mother's name is Genova. The Genova Project. Is this just a coincidence? Soul Ring. Love this Soul Ring here. And then Trailblazer's Boots. Oh, baby. The gate to tomorrow is not the light of heaven, but the darkness of the depths of the earth. Vincent Valentine. All right, and then our lands in here, we got a Battlefield Forge, just like in the previous, Bonder's Enclave, Brushland, Canopy Vista. So the lands are all like taken, they didn't do like new art for all the different decks for the different lands. Exotic Orchard, Firelit Thicket is in here, Fortified Village, Furicom Snarl, Game Trail. I'm ready for them to just like put a fetch land in one of these, man. I'm ready for them to just do it. Just put fetch lands in this shit. Just put a fetch land, put a shock land in them. I'm seeing check lands. I'm seeing all the filter lands. And these work. They work fine. Scavenger Grounds is in there. That's good. Slayer's Stronghold reprint. That's fun. But yeah, dude, just like... Oh, this new Spire of Industry. That's cool. Sungrass Prairie. Just give us a fetch and a shock. Just rip the Band-Aid and do it. Radiant Grove. Wooded Ridgeline. I like these lands. The ones that enter tapped from Dominaria that you can search up. They're good. Okay, so this one looks pretty fun. Then you get your 8 Soldier Rebel tokens and 2 Foretell Helper treasure tokens. So that's cool. A lot of soldiers, lots of rebels. This deck looks pretty fun. No, will actually not, because of these ones. So you got the Radiant Grove, the Sacred Peaks, and the Wooded Ridgeline. So if you had a fetch land in there, you could at least grab these guys that enter tapped and have double. So that's kind of cool. These ones that came out. You think you like that one better than the Mardu one? There's some pretty good equipment in there. There's some pretty good equipment going on. Tidus, Yuna's Guardian. Here we go. Let's see what the Bant deck has to offer here. Final Fantasy X was one of my favorite games. I played a shit ton of Blitzball in this game. I remember spending a ton of time playing Blitzball in this game. I remember playing so much of this game and like trading or training in that God, what was that cave right before the end of the game? I forget what it's called. The Hall of something. Hall of Champions. Something of Champions. But at the end of the game, before the final boss, I went in there and I just like killed shit for like hours. And then when I got to the final boss of the game, I just spanked him. It wasn't even close. It just was not even close, man. But yeah, Tidus, Yuna's Guardian. Let's go ahead and see what's in here. Tidus reads, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may move a counter from target creature you control onto a second target creature you control. And cheer, whenever one or more creatures you control with a counter on them deal combat damage to a player, you may draw a card and proliferate. Do this only once each turn. It might have been Xanarkand. Yeah. It was just like right at the end of the game. Obadiah says, would you consider the Intrigue of a gingerbread gummy army attacking the rodents of Bloomborough to be something Wizards would make within the next 3 years? Of a gingerbread gummy army attacking the rodents of Bloomborough. Maybe. That would be pretty wild. Corey G says, Final Fantasy VII, I got all the ultimate weapons other than Waka. I don't think the area had a name. It was just Xanarkand. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was confused, Corey. Yeah. Brain dead. Yeah, I played the crap out of that one. All right, so it looks like some counter synergy going on in here. And then we have Yuna, Grand Summoner, is the Lieutenant Commander. One a green, a red, or excuse me, one a green, a white, and a blue. Grand Summon, tap, add 1 mana of any color. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, that creature enters with 2 additional 1/1 counters on it. Whenever another permanent you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, if it had 1 or more counters on it, you may put that number of 1/1 counters on target creature. Okay. So lots of counter synergy here. Let's see what they got for us in the deck. We got Tidus. We got Yuna, which we just read. Orin. Oh, man, I love Orin. Orin, Venerated Guardian. 3 and a white. Vigilance. Shooting Star. Whenever Orin attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. When you do, exile target creature defending player controls with power less than Orin's power until Orin leaves the battlefield. You know, kind of going back to what MTG Gaming Bob said earlier about how the commander decks look like they have more power. Thinking about that compared to the main set, right? The main set is going to be standard legal. These commander cards are not. So I would expect there to be more power in the commander decks. So it's good to see some strong cards in here. But yeah, Vigilance 2/5. Whenever Orin attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. When you do, exile target creature defending player controls with power less than Orin's power until Orin leaves the battlefield. Now that's something that can happen again and again, it appears. If you don't deal with Orin, he's just going to keep exiling stuff. It's pretty strong. Got Chocobo Knights. Whenever you attack creatures you control with counters on them, gain double strike until end of turn. Okay. Okay. Gata and Luzu. 2 and a white. Legendary creature, human soldier, Flash. When it enters, choose target creature you control. If damage would be dealt to that creature this turn, prevent that damage and put that many 1/1 counters on it. Chat, this card is cracked. When it enters, choose target creature you control. If damage would be dealt to that creature this turn, prevent that damage and put that many 1/1 counters on it. This is such a good little combat trick, man. We have Lord Jiskull here. One and a white for a 2/1 flyer. At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on a creature this turn, investigate. If you put a counter on a creature this turn, investigate. That's a good little 2-drop as well. Summon Ixion. 2 and a white. Exile target creature an opponent controls until the saga leaves the battlefield. That's pretty good. So we got like kind of like a journey to nowhere kind of thing going on. And then put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. You gain 2 life. Okay. Summon Yojimbo. 3 and a white. Exile target artifact, enchantment, or tap creature an opponent controls. And then until your next turn, creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each of those creatures. So it becomes a ghostly prison. And then create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of opponents who control a creature with power 4 or greater. Okay. Okay. We have Lulu here. Oh, I remember Lulu. 2 and a blue for 2/3. Whenever an opponent attacks you, choose target creature attacking you, put a stun counter on that creature, and it has Proliferate. She is going to be proliferating, man. It's pretty good. Alaka, Traveling Merchant, 1 in a blue. Remove a counter from non-land permanent you control to draw a card. Oh, that's a really good tap ability. That is a very good tap ability there. God, there are so many good cards in Final Fantasy. That tap ability is so good. 1 in a blue for a 1/2. Remove a counter from a non-land permanent you control to draw a card. You don't even have to sink mana into this. There's Riku. Everybody go crazy. Riku being mono blue. I think that makes sense. I would have guessed like maybe blue-white, but mono blue works. 2 in a blue. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature until end of turn, that creature can't be blocked by creatures your opponents control. And it has steal. 1 in tap. Move a counter from target creature and opponent controls onto target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. That's fun. Mom, do you remember when I played a bunch of Final Fantasy X? Yeah, Riku probably should have been a rogue, not an artificer. But whatever. Summon Veil 4. 4 in a blue. And it has Sonic Wings. Each opponent chooses a creature with the greatest mana value among creatures they control. Return those creatures to their owner's hands. And it has tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. So lots of stun stuff going on here. Lots of stun stuff. Maester Seymour. Oh, yes. 2 in a green. For 1/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of 1/1 counters equal to Maester Seymour's power on another target creature you control. Has Monstrosity X, where X is a number of counters among creatures you control. Dude, this deck has so much counter synergy. It is wild. It is wild. I feel like this deck is just stacked. Summon Magus Sisters. 4 in a 3 or 4 in a green. 5/5 haste. Choose one at random. Combine powers. Put 3 1/1 counters on target creature. Or defense. Put a shield counter on target creature. You gain 3 life. Or fight. This creature fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. That's pretty strong too. Trommel, Seymour's Butler. 2 in a green. Legendary creature, Elf Advisor. Each other non-token creature you control enters with an additional 1/1 counter on it. She just should have sent him and all those problems could have been avoided. Proliferate X times, where X is the number of non-token creatures you control that entered this turn. Kamahari Valiant Guardian. 2 a green and a blue. Vigilance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on Kamari, and tap target creature and opponent controls. Then you may have Kamari become a copy of that creature. Its name is Kamari Valiant Guardian, and it has Vigilance and this ability. Oh, cards like this make my head hurt. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on Kamari and tap target creature and opponent controls. Then you may have Kamari become a copy of that creature, except its name is Kamari Valiant Guardian, and it has Vigilance and this ability. Yeah, it's pretty good. She says, and I remember you and I used to play Metroid together. I would even call off work to advance the game, and you'd come home from school and be so mad because you didn't get to see it. Yes, Mom. Terrible, bringing up bad memories. Yeah, I remember when you destroyed the glass to get into Meridian before I even got to see Evil. Evil! We've got Shalinda. Yvonne Acolyte. A green and a white. Legendary creature. Human Cleric, Lifelink. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on that creature if its power is less than Shalinda's power. Otherwise, put a 1/1 counter on Shalinda. Okay. Sin, Unending Cataclysm. 5, a green and a blue. Legendary creature, Leviathan Avatar. Flying Trample. Okay. As Sin enters, remove all counters from any number of artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Sin enters with X 1/1 counters on it, where X is twice the number of counters removed this way. When Sin dies, put its counters on target creature you control, then shuffle this card into its owner's library. Dude. Seems very strong. We got Waka in here. 2, a green and a white. I would have guessed Waka would have been blue. Considering all of the Blitz ball and water related things, but we'll get over it. Reach, trample. When Waka deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact that player controls and put a 1/1 counter on Waka. Reach, trample. When it deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact that player controls and put a 1/1 counter on it. And then Blitz Ball Captain. At the beginning of your end step, if a counter was put on Waka this turn, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. Dude. That is good. Then we have Luminous Broodmoth in here. Got a new printing of Luminous. 2 and 2 white. Whenever this creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. Don't bother going after all of them. Cut the ones that matter and run. Scholar of New Horizons is in here. New Art Scholar. This creature enters with a 1/1 counter on it. Remove a counter from a permanent you control. Search your library for a plains and reveal it. If an opponent controls more lands than you, you may put that card onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, put it in your hand, then shuffle. It's a good card. Got a Sun Scorch Regent in here. Dragon, 3 and 2 white for a 4/3. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. You gain a life. New Cataclysm Skulker. This card is strong. New Bane of Progress in here. When this creature enters, destroy all artifact and enchantments. New Art Forgotten Ancient. Whenever a player casts a spell, you may put a 1/1 counter on this creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may move any number of 1/1 counters from this creature onto other creatures. Got a New Art Generous Patron here. We have a new Gyre Sage. New Incubation Druid. New Rampant Rejuvenator. New Art Tireless Tracker. That's cool. New Art Altered Ego. The thing is I'm not super into counter decks. I'm not super into counter decks. But I do think that this deck looks really good. New Art Walking Ballista. Let's go. That's pretty sick to see in the deck. It's pretty tight. We do have a Grateful Apparition. 1 and a white. Flying whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. Proliferate. We do have a Dusk Shell Crawler. 1 and a green. When this creature enters, put a 1/1 counter onto target creature. Each creature you control with the 1/1 counter on it has trample. Right, let's look at our instance. Protection Magic. 1 and a white. Put a shield counter on each of up to 3 target creatures. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Put a shield counter on each of up to 3 target creatures. If a creature with a shield counter on it would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter from it instead. Then we have Eunice Whistle. 1 and 2 green. Instant. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. When you reveal a creature card this way, put X 1/1 counters on target creature control, where X is the mana value of that card. This is a pretty fun little combat trick here. Pretty fun little combat trick that also offers velocity, lets you dig deep into your deck. This card seems good. New Art Pull from Tomorrow. Draw X cards, then discard a card. Endless Detour. God, the art on that. He knew there was no way back home. Back to Xanarkand. Endless Detour. Oh, new art. The owner of target spell, non-land permanent, or card in a graveyard puts it on their choice of top or bottom. Destroy evil, 1 and a white. Choose one. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater, or destroy target enchantment. Path to Exile is in here. We know this card, obviously. New art Path. An offer you can't refuse is in here. That's pretty cool. New art offer. All right. I'll work. Tidus. And then Inspiring Call. Draw a card for each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it. Those creatures. Oh, God. Oh, God. The meme. This is them just like forcing themselves to laugh in that moment. Oh, my God. If you don't know the meme, you need to go watch the meme. But honestly, I watched a breakdown of this because here's the thing. Life was so depressing that they were forcing themselves to laugh here. So even though the laugh feels forced, that's the point. But yeah, this is I love that this meme made it into the set. This is honestly really great. Like oh man, this is great. If you know, you know. That's right. Wow, dude. Oh man. And here's what's crazy too, is I probably watched that as a kid and was just like in awe of just like the good graphics. And I was just like, yeah, this is great. Didn't really like realize the nuance of that scene. But yeah, man, this is pretty cool to see that this card make it into the set. I'm a fan. I am a fan. All right, let's go up here, look at some of the enchantments. I know that we're excited to see some of the enchantments here. Summoner's Sending, 1 and a white enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile target creature card from a graveyard. If you do, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Put a 1/1 counter on it if the exile card's mana value is 4 or greater. Wow. Something that hates graveyards for our opponents and then makes us flyers. And then they can be better if the thing exiled had power 4 or greater. That's really good. Oh, the Sphere Grid. The Sphere Grid made it in. I was wondering if there was going to be something like this that makes it in. Okay. 1 and a green enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. And then it has the unlock ability. Creatures you control with a 1/1 counter on them have reach and trample. So when every creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. This card says whenever. Bro. I know no doubling season, but we just got doubling season in Foundations, and it's actually a reasonable price now. Easy addition to the deck. But this by itself, look at this card. Creatures you control with 1/1 counters on them have reach and trample. This enchantment comes down for 2 mana. Chat. Are you reading this thing? This thing is nutty. I can't even believe that that's what this does. It's insane. Resourceful Defense, 2 and a white. Whenever a permanent you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on a target permanent you control. This is like a Ozolith. Move any number of counters from target permanent you control onto a second target permanent you control. Whenever a permanent you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on target permanent you control. This is awesome as well. This deck is just stacked full of good stuff. Together Forever, 2 white. When this enchantment enters, support 2. And for 1, choose target creature with a counter on it. When that creature dies this turn, return that card to its owner's hand. Arcanau, I don't even know if it needs these cards, because it's just they're just putting in a whole bunch more busted enchantments in here. I have not seen one enchantment in any of these that are bad. This one is amazing. This one is amazing. This one is amazing. This one is amazing. And then Inexorable Tide is the reprint. Fight Rigging, also a new reprint. So we have Tide in here. New art Fight Rigging. We got Hardened Scales in here. Path of Discovery. Whenever a creature you control enters, it explores. And Bread for the Hunt. Whenever a creature you control with the 1/1 counter on it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So these 4 new enchantments are all, like, in my opinion, I would say this is S tier. This is S tier. This is S tier. Like, whenever a target creature, choose target creature with a counter on it. When that creature dies this turn, return that card to its owner's hand. We could do that simply for 1 mana. Like, that's so stacked. Whether someone is trying to remove it, whether we're swinging or blocking with it. Wait, is Together Forever a reprint? Oh, okay. See, this is why I need to play white. Is Resourceful Defense a reprint? Oh, okay. I'm dumb. Okay. All right, thank you, chat. Jeez. All right, artifacts. Blitzball Stadium. X in blue. Whenever this artifact enters, support X. And then go for the goal. 3 and tap. Until end of turn, target creature gains when this creature deals combat damage to a player. Draw a card for each kind of counter on it. It can't be blocked this turn. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. And thank God they made a Blitzball Stadium. I do feel like it probably could have been a land and not an artifact. I think this probably could have been a land, but we're going to let it slide. Then here's our Arcane Signet. I'm a Blitzball player. Star player of the Xanarkand Aids. Tidus. We've got an Everflowing Chalice in here and a Soul Ring. So not a lot of, like, mana rocks in this. Let's look at our sorceries. We've got Yuna's Decision, 3 and a green, choose one. Continue the Pilgrimage, sacrifice a creature. If you do, draw a card. Then you may put a creature card and or land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Is Blitzball Stadium a reprint? No way. No, good trolling. It's called Blitzball Stadium. I'm gonna assume it's not a reprint. And then find another way. Return. So Yuna's Decision. Return 1 or 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. This is a pretty strong card. So for 3 and a green, choose one, continue the Pilgrimage, sacrifice a creature. If you do, draw a card. Then you may put a creature card and or land card from your hand onto the battlefield. That has kind of like a nature... What card am I thinking of here? This card has kind of a... Why can't I think of that card? Natural Order. Has kind of like a Natural Order kind of vibe to it. Except you're not searching. It's just from hand. Then find another way. Return 1 or 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty good. Collective Effort. Okay. This is a good one. I love the art on this. I like that they were able to make this art happen. We have Damning Verdict. 3 and 2 white. Destroy all creatures with no counters on them. This seems like a nice, you know, one-sided thing. They put Farewell in here. Shame on them. Shame on them. Shame. Shame on them. This card is awful, but I like the art. Promise of Loyalty. Each player puts a vow counter on a creature they control and sacrifices the rest. Each of those creatures can attack you or planeswalkers you control for as long as it has a vow counter. And then there's a Farseek in here and a 3 visits. Okay, so the Cloud deck got the Nature's Lore. This one gets the Farseek and the 3 visits. Okay. Let's cruise through the lands here. Got Brushland, Canopy Vista, Exotic Orchard. A lot of these are pretty much just a lot like the ones that we already saw in the other decks. You got the check lands, the filter lands, the temples, all just depending on what color the deck is. So nothing super important to see here. We do have Forge of Heroes. Choose target commander that entered this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it if it's a creature, and a loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker. That's cool. That's a pretty fun little card. We also have Nesting Grounds. Move a counter from target permanent you control onto a second target permanent. Activate only as a sorcery. So a new art Nesting Grounds. That's pretty sweet. Path of Ancestry, Radiant Grove, new Seaside Citadel. Love that art. That is pretty sweet. Tangled Islet, Temple of the False God is in here. This is pretty sweet. It's better if you do. It's better for you to die in hope than to live in despair. Let me be your liberator. And then our command tower is pretty sweet here as well. Final Fantasy X command tower. Pretty sweet. And then our tokens that come with this, you got the Spirit, the Treasure, Clue, Squid. All right, now it's time to talk about Final Fantasy XIV. Last deck to go over here. Chat, we were going to build today, but now what we've done is we've turned this into a stream where we are going over the decks. Give me just a second. I'm going to put my my dish away here, and I'll be right back. Chair is GOAT, baby. That's right. The chair is GOAT. All right, let's talk about Y'shtola. Y'shtola. Knight's Blessed. So Y'shtola was a card that comes from a Final Fantasy game that I have not played. Let's read it. Vigilance. At the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. Alrighty. The Lieutenant Commander in this deck is also a cat. Grahatia Scion Reborn. A white, a blue, and a black. Lifelink. Throw wide the gates. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay X life, where X is that spell's mana value. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token and put X 1/1 counters on it. Do this only once each turn. Okay. So this is all Final Fantasy 14, Brody. Pronouncing things correctly. I'm doing my best. Grahatia. And Y'shtola. Y'shtola, Grahatia. All right, here we go. Well, I'm looking at these names and I'm going, there's no chance that I get through these without butchering some of them. So we're going to do our best. We've already gone through our commander and our lieutenant commander. Alice Lavalier. Thank you for subscribing, Apocalypse. Appreciate you. Alice Lavalier. Partner with Alphanod Lavalier. First strike, and it has dual cast. The second spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. Okay. Summon Good King Mog the 12th. 4 and a white. Create 2 1/2 white Moogle creature tokens with lifelink. All right. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, create a token that's a copy of a non-saga token you control. Put 2 1/1 counters on each other Moogle you control. Okay. We have Tatarutaru. 1 and a white. Legendary creature dwarf advisor. When Tatarutaru enters, you draw a card and target opponent may draw a card. Okay. Target opponent may draw a card. Scion's Secretary. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if it isn't that player's turn, create a tapped treasure token. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if it isn't that player's turn, create a tapped treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. So anybody who's trying to draw cards on your turn, you're going to benefit from that. Seems pretty strong. Thancred Waters. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Where can we see the deck list, please? Let me see if it's still on my clipboard here. Yep, there you go. It's in chat. You're welcome. It's in chat. You're welcome. Thancred Waters. It is a flashing 3/5 Royal Guard. When it enters, another target legendary permanent you control gains indestructible for as long as you control Thancred Waters. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Thancred Waters gains indestructible until end of turn. This card is good. This card is very strong. Alphanod Lavalier. 3 and a blue for a 2/4. Partner with Alice. Vigilance. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card. All right, so these two partner together. Whenever this creature enters, target player may put Alphinaud Lavalier into their hand from their library, then shuffle. So if you get this one or this one, you can go get whichever one you didn't get and just tutor them up. Pretty good. Hermes, Overseer of Elpis. 3 and a blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying and vigilance. Whenever you attack with one or more birds, scry 2. So this seems to be like a... You want to be doing more than one spell each turn. 4 and a blue. Flying Vigilance Ward 2 for a 5/5. Hars Rasvilger of the First Brood. Rasvilgar. I don't know. Shiva's Aid. When Rasvilgar enters and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. Seems good. Then Daniel. Telephori. Ascian. Oh, God. Dude. This one, I'm just like, oh, my God, all these names. Legendary creature, Elder Wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, surveil 1. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent may sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent who doesn't loses 2 life for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. 4/5. 4/5 for 5. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, surveil. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent may sack a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent who doesn't loses 2 life for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. So if they're not sacking, they're losing life. Ardbert, Warrior of Darkness. A white, a black, and 1 for a 2/2. Whenever you cast a white spell, put a 1/1 counter on each legendary creature you control. They gain vigilance until end of turn. Whenever you cast a black spell, put a 1/1 counter on each legendary creature you control. They gain menace. This is a fun commander by itself. I like this. Dude, this card is crazy. Emmett Selk of the Third Seat. 2, a blue, and a black. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast. And whenever one or more opponents lose life, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Do this only once each turn. That is very strong. Chat, if you are enjoying the stream, click like and subscribe. That's the best way to support the channel with just the click of a button. We do appreciate you all hanging out. We have 61 people watching. Let's try to get to 50 likes. Can we do it? We're at 28. Let's get to 50. All right, let's keep going here. Einstein Varlinu? It's not Einstein either. It's Estinine. Estinine Varlinu. This is where Final Fantasy fell off for me, when they made all the names unpronounceable. Jeez. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Estinine. It gains flying until end of turn. At the beginning of your second main phase, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of your opponents who were dealt combat damage by Estinine. Okay. The Red Baron, yes. Yes, we are going to get there. Hildebrand, Manderville. Oh, this is fun. 1 and a white. And it has adventure. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And creature tokens you control get +1/+1. Whenever Hildebrand Manderville dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. Okay. That's an interesting card. Krylie Baldison. Life linking. White and a blue. Krylie Baldison. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may return target creature card with mana value equal to that spell's mana value from your graveyard to your hand. Do this only once each turn. It's pretty good. Oh, this guy's in the evil in the game. Hildebrand. Little white black. So this must be like the kind of like this Esper like bad guy deck. Is Yasholta a bad guy? Lice Hexed. 2/2 human rebel monk here for 1 a white and a blue. Prowess. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Alright, that's fun. As long as you've cast 2 or more non-creature spells this turn, Lice Hexed has double strike. Okay. Papelimo Totilimo. A white and a black. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this card deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. 4 and tap, sacrifice Papelimo Totolimo. Each opponent who lost life this turn sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. This is good. Urinanger Argerelt. A white and a blue. Legendary creature Elf Advisor. You may play... Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 life. And it has Draw Arcanum. Tap, look at the top card of your library. You may exile it face down and play Arcanum. Until the end of your next turn, you may play cards exiled with this card. Spells you cast this way cost 2 less to cast. Then we get to cards that I can actually pronounce. Archmage Emeritus. Got a new art on that. 2 blue and 2. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. We have Torrential Gear Hulk here. New art Torrential Gear Hulk. That's pretty sweet. New art Murderous Rider. That's pretty sweet. Baleful Strix. Love the art on this. Oh man, I love that yellow. The yellow on the blue and black looks so good. Hypnotic Sprite, new art. Enchantments here. Champions from Beyond, 2 white and X. Whenever this enchantment enters, create X 1/1 colorless hero creature tokens. And it has Light Party. Whenever you attack with 4 or more creatures, scry 2, then draw a card. And Full Party, whenever you attack with 8 or more creatures, those creatures get +4/+4 until end of turn. Jeez. So this to me looks like a really good card for like a green-white token deck as well, if you're going super wide. Like, Paige, would you run this in Ginny Faye? I feel like you probably would. When it enters, create X 1/1 colorless hero tokens. Whenever you attack with 4 or more tokens, scry 2, then draw a card. And then Full Party, whenever you attack with 8 or more creatures, those creatures get +4/+4 until end of turn. This card seems amazing. Observe Stasis, 3 and a blue. Enchantment Aura has Flash. Enchant creature and opponent controls. Whenever this aura enters, remove enchanted creature from combat. Then draw a card for each tapped creature its controller controls. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and can't attack or block. Eye of Nidhogg. 2 and a black. Enchantment Aura. Enchanted creature is a black dragon with base power and toughness 4/2, has flying and death touch, and is goaded. Whenever Eye of Nidhogg is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. And then new art Authority of the Consuls. That's pretty good. Got new art Propaganda. It's pretty sweet. New art Bastion of Remembrance. The legacy of Gaius Van Belsar is a towering monument to imperial tyranny. Then let's look at our artifacts here. We have Dancers Chakrams. 3 and a white. Artifact equipment. Job select. When this equipment enters, select a create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token, then attach this to it. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has lifelink, and other commanders you control get +2/+2 and have lifelink, and is a performer in addition to its other types. All right. Has Krishna, equipped 3. Blue Mage's Cane, 2 and a blue. It also has job select. Equipped creature gets +0/+2, is a wizard in addition to its other types, and has whenever this creature attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from defending player's graveyard. If you do copy it, you may cast the copy by paying 3 rather than paying its mana cost. Did I say I should have said goated, right? It is goated. Astrologian's Planessphere. Astrologian's Planessphere. Astrologian's Planisphere. Gosh. 1 and a blue. Artifact equipment. It has job select. Equipped creature is a wizard in addition to its other types, and has whenever you cast a non-creature spell and whenever you draw your 3rd card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Okay. Reaper's Scythe. Also, job select. Black and 2. At the beginning of your end step, put a soul counter on this equipment for each player who lost life this turn. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each soul counter on this equipment and is an assassin in addition to its other types. There's something off about our subscribes. Brotius, thank you for subscribing. We appreciate you. Archaeomancer's Map, we got a new art here. Coveted Jewel, new art. Tome of Legends, new art there. White Orosite. 2 and 2 white. When this artifact enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield, and it taps for white. That's good. Sage's Newliths. 1 and a blue. Artifact equipment also has job select. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has whenever this creature attacks, untap target attacking creature. And it's a cleric in addition to its other types. Arcane Signet. As per usual, there's lots of artifacts in here. Mike Weiss, I seriously think the 2 best decks here are 7 and 10. 6 is close. Yeah, this one I'm kind of having trouble like really seeing exactly what they want to do with this deck. Relic of Legends is in here. Soul Ring is pretty sweet, obviously. New art Talisman of Dominance. New art Talisman of Hierarchy. New art Talisman of Progress, and a Thought Vessel. So of all the decks, this is the one with like the most mana rocks going on in it. Let's take a look at the instance. Transpose. What is wrong with our chat? All right, transpose. Instant. 2 and a black. Draw a card, then discard a card. You lose 1 life. If this spell was cast from your hand, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's good. That wizard is good. It has rebound as well. Pretty strong. New art, Dig Through Time. New art, Sublime Epiphany. New art, Lethal Scheme. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Each creature that convoked Lethal Scheme connives. New art, Void Rend. New art, Swords to Plowshares. New art, Into the Story. That Swords to Plowshares, the refreshing caress of the wind, the soothing whisper of the waves. How liberating. New art, Into the Story. And new art, Snuff Out. That's pretty sweet. Like that. All right, our sorceries. We have new art, Cleansing Nova. New art, Final Judgment. Exile all creatures. Is Final Judgment a new card? That's not a magic card yet, is it? Rite of Replication. New art, Rite of Replication. That's good. New art, Crux of Fate. That's pretty fun. New art, Vindicate. Good removal in here. New art, Circle of Power. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. New art, Cut a Deal. Oh, that is from Kamigawa. Okay, thank you. New art, Cut a Deal. Each opponent draws a card, then you draw a card for each opponent who drew a card this way. Got new Lingering Souls. Love the art on this Lingering Souls. That's pretty sweet. New art, Exsanguinate. Sick as well. And new art, Siphon Mind. 'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. All right, and then our lands are going to be pretty much the same kind of thing going on. You got the Choked Estuary, Darkwater Catacombs, Desolate Mire, Drowned Catacomb, Exotic Orchard, Fetid Heath, Glacial Fortress, Isolated Chapel, Port Town, Prairie Stream, Scavenger Grounds, Shine Shadow Snarl. Let's see what's in here that's kind of like a good utility land. Demolition Field, Idyllic Beachfront. Add 1 mana. Nope. Sunlit Marsh, Temple of the False God. Yeah, pretty straightforward. All right, so chat, let's get a little ranking going. I kind of feel like my favorite of these, and there's a lot of them. Like, I really like all of these decks that are going on. I feel like the counter Blitz is very strong. And I also feel like the Limit Break deck is very strong. So I'd probably have to put these two at like these just both seem very, very good. Counter Blitz and Limit Break both seem very good. And then for me, I would have to say that, you know, the Esper one, I don't really see like all the synergies. Like this Esper one is just kind of like confusing to me. Like, we get it, like we're trying to lose life so we can draw cards, all that kind of stuff, but this one, maybe it's the names. Maybe it's all the names made it hard for me to get behind. The names are just weird. There we go. What do you think, chat? What are your favorite ones? I think if I had to rank them, just based off of reading through all of them, I would say probably Cloud. I also feel like okay, so like Cloud would be first. And then I would probably like, I mean, this one seems really good as well, the Mardu one. But probably Cloud, then Tidus. So Limit Break would be first for me. Then Counter Blitz would probably be second for me. And then I would say probably this one. Revival Trance, Final Fantasy VI. And then I would do Yasholta last. Scions and Spellcraft I would probably put last. No, it's not the names. Yasholta deck seems like it doesn't have anything going for it. Right, it's just kind of like, what is it doing? I don't know. All right, let's go back here for a second. Hello. Hi, it's me again. All right, let's end that recording. Chat, if you are enjoying the stream, click like and subscribe. That's a great way to support the channel. We did release a VV deck today, VV Ornithir. We know there's a lot of decks coming out, a lot of stuff that people are very excited for in this set. Let me go ahead and bring up our Mox field. All right, chat. Oh, Trumas Popo pledged $10. Appreciate you for supporting on Patreon. All right. Ads are over. Nice. All right. Let's go ahead and make a new deck. Firion Wild Rose Warrior. Here we go, baby. Let's put a little bit of a deck together here. Chat, you're going to help me build this. Moxfield is taking longer than expected. Oh, nar. Probably got everybody on Moxfield trying to build stuff. Moxfield. What is going on? All right, there we go. All right, so you're saying Goblin War Drums? So equipped creatures you control have haste. This is what we're building here. We have Firion Wild Rose Warrior. So I saw this card and I was like, this card looks pretty freaking strong. This card looks very good. So we are going to build it as a commander. 2 in a red, Firion Wild Rose Warrior. Legendary creature, human rebel warrior. Equipped creatures you control have haste. And then whenever a non-token equipment you control enters, create a token that's a copy of it. Except it has this equipment's equip ability costs 2 less to activate. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. So there's a lot going on with this card. Yeah, let's just start adding some stuff to it. Creatures you control have menace. Yeah, that seems good. Well, here, let's just add stuff. We're just going to build this with you. Red Baron says, wait, this is my moment. Hot take cards to consider. Zoyoa's Justice. The owner of target artifact or creature with mana value 1 or greater shuffles it into their library. Then that player discovers X, where X is its mana value. That seems good. Seize the spotlight. Oh, there we go. Seize the spotlight. Each opponent chooses Fame or Fortune. For each player who chose Fame, gain control of a creature that player controls until end of turn. Tap those creatures that gain haste. For each player who chose Fortune, you draw a card and create a treasure token. Okay. I like this. Spectacular Showdown. Put a double strike counter on target creature, then goad each creature that had a double strike counter put on it this way. And it has overload. Okay, cool. MTG Gaming Bob says Final Fantasy XIV. Character names and their pronunciations. Yeshtola. Alphino. Alize. Or Alice. Okay. Thancred. Papalimo. Urianze. Or Urianger. Grahatia. Okay. Nice, Bob. Getting in with all the pronunciations. Derek Stoll. Seems like the Mirrodin stuff that came out in Phyrexia All Will Be One would work well in here. The equipments come in with 2/2 rebels that auto equip to it, so you're getting double value there. Yeah, that seems good as well. Sherry is in the background saying yes to your pronunciations now. Yes. Why am I not finding the Mirrodin stuff when I type in? Ugh. Why is this not coming up? So frustrating. Obviously, we want a lot of equipment. Whenever a non-token equipment you control enters, create a token that's a copy of it, except it has this equipment's equip abilities cost 2 less to activate. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next upkeep. You know, chat, I want to build this, but I'm also very hungry. And I think because we did that big review here, I might just end the stream and we're going to save this deck tech for Wednesday. We might just build it on Wednesday. I want to build this, but I need to get some stuff in the mail before the post office closes. And I was up very late editing for a video that went out earlier today. I'll share that with you guys if you want to take a look at it really quick. we did have this come out earlier today. We did a budget and bling version of Vivi. So you can find that here if you guys want to check these out. I do want to post this. If you want to check out our deck that we made. But I am going to go get some stuff done because we need to record more videos. We need to get more deck techs out. This VV deck was very, very fun to build. And it's a fun little spell slinger thing that's going on. You do a lot of fun stuff like cast stuff like Reckless Charge on VV, pump up his power, he gets counters, and then there's like big payoffs in here and stuff like that. If you want to check out the deck, I just put it into chat. And also there is a YouTube video for it that we just recorded that came out before the stream earlier today. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here for now. I want to figure out, you know, what needs to be done to fix some of these weird technical issues, and I will catch up with you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed that long review of going through all of the commander decks. For now, I am going to skedaddle. And, yeah. Derek, I appreciate you. I'll take a look at that. I need to get better at my Scryfall syntax. Everybody, I'm going to get out of here for now, but I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for hanging out. And, yeah, we will be back on Wednesday with more stuff, and we will be probably looking at more Final Fantasy. So I appreciate you all hanging out. If you did enjoy the stream, click like and subscribe. Hope to see you in the future. And, yeah, you can see Bill back there. He's grooming himself. I think he's licking his butthole. So we'll end it on that. Yeah, Arcanau, I need to send them my information. All right, you guys, have a good one. Thank you all so much for spending your time here.